Am I the a-hole for telling my mom and siblings they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions? So my family is my dad, mom, my 2 sisters, and my 2 brothers. I'm 17 male, the oldest. My dad was estranged from his dad since he was my age. His mom died when he was 10, so we never knew grandma either. My dad was open about the fact grandpa wasn't a very nice man and all kinds of stuff, but he never went into details. I know he really did a number on dad because I still sometimes see dad look ashamed if he spills something or makes a mistake. I also know he tries to hold back anytime he cries and looks downright disgusted with himself for crying. 3 years ago, his dad reached out and my mom and my sister, 15, were so excited and basically welcomed him into the family. Dad said no way. He and mom fought a lot about it. My siblings all told dad they had a right to know our grandfather and he should love his dad. I was dragged along at first, but I stopped going. Dad has refused to have any part in it, and he and mom fought because he told her his father was never going to step foot inside our house, and if he did, dad would leave and he would never come back. So mom takes my siblings to see him. Christmas was a huge freaking fight last year because they decided to spend it with this dude, and my dad refused to go, and so did I. My siblings started crying in dad's face that they wanted Christmas with him. Mom was calling him selfish. She tried to do the whole, I'm your mother and you listen to me, and dad told her he's my father and I could stay with him if I wanted to. They're still sour about it, but then dad took me out for his birthday and we didn't come home until late because he found out they were planning to take him out to meet with his father. My dad told my mom and my siblings that since he cannot trust them with his birthday, he will only celebrate with the people he can trust now. I also heard him tell mom this couldn't continue and they needed to divorce. Now my mom is freaking out because she doesn't want the divorce and my siblings are really upset. They told me I should help since dad and I are still close. I told them they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions. I pointed out to mom she was always big on us learning. I told them this is a big one. My mom told me my siblings are so young and don't deserve this. I told her it's all her fault because she undermined dad by making a point to demand he come in front of my siblings, and so they think they can manipulate him and not listen. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, and I can absolutely see this from your father's point of view. My relationship with my father is similar to your father's relationship with your grandfather, and if someone tried to trick me into seeing my father or went around me to mend that fence, I'd be absolutely livid. He was also mad she helped my siblings have a relationship with the guy. I can see he worries every time they go to see the guy. I totally get it. I was in therapy for years to come to terms with my father, his actions, etc. I wish my dad got help when he was younger because I can see the strain it had on him and I hate it. My dad's the best and he loves us so much. It kills me to see this happen. Do you think your dad would be open to individual therapy now? He's most likely reliving a lot of his trauma because of this situation. It could help him immensely. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole at all. My dad was open about the fact grandpa wasn't a very nice man and all kinds of stuff, but he never went into details. I know he really did a number on dad because I still sometimes see dad look ashamed if he spills something or makes a mistake. I also know he tries to hold back anytime he cries and looks downright disgusted with himself for crying. So this man literally abused your father. Then your mom and sister thought it would be wonderful if they reconnected. And your father shared this sensitive and personal information with her because he thought he could trust her? Why is your mom mad at him? You're absolutely right, my guy. She did this to herself and her family. She thinks because he's way older now and a grandparent. She said the worst parents can make the best grandparents and all that other crap. There's no guarantee that his abusive traits as a father won't carry over or influence how he would interact with your father, or indeed your siblings in the present. And your father clearly still feels the trauma. Your siblings do have a right to a relationship with this man, but they're doing so in a way that tramples over your father's boundaries, especially since they expect him to love their grandfather, and your mother is pushing for a Hallmark movie, feel-good reconciliation. Unless your mother changes course, the marriage is headed straight for divorce town, and she is going to risk losing you for it just because you have empathy for your father. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom that her remarrying made me prefer my father as a parent to her, and it's her fault we aren't as close? When I, 23 female, was 5, my parents divorced. It was very hard on me. My mother remarried 2 years later to my stepfather, Dan. Dan has one daughter, Delilah, 22. My stepfather and stepsister are both okay. I don't have any real problems with them, though I've just never felt close to them. They just don't feel like family. And I've always wished my parents had stayed together. As a kid, I always had Thanksgivings with Dad and Christmas with Mom. My dad burned the turkey the first year we had Thanksgiving together, and we went and got Chinese food. Ever since then, we've always gotten Chinese food for the holidays. I love the holidays with my dad because it's just me and him spending time together. Ever since the divorce, my dad has never dated or remarried. He's always said that I'll always be his #1 priority, and maybe he'll meet someone when I go off and get married. He spends a lot of time working too. My boyfriend has jokingly compared my dad to Charlie from Twilight, and it's awkwardly dead on. When my mom got married, I felt like I became her last priority. She always placed her new husband first, and we never spent time together one-on-one. As an adult, I've just spent all the holidays with my dad. He'd be alone without me anyway. My mom really wants me to come to Thanksgiving this year. She said she's sad because she feels like I'm way closer to my dad, which I am. I told her I'm closer to Dad because he's always placed me first, which she never has. She was upset and said she had a right to move on and find love and be happy. I told her she's right, she did have that right, but Dad didn't feel the same way, and that's why I have a better relationship with him. I told her I never got to just see my mom. It always had to be her and Dan and Delilah. She chose to make them her family, and I never had a choice in the matter and never felt like my feelings mattered. I see my mother a few times a year, whereas I see Dad at least once a week. My social media is filled with pictures of us going out and doing stuff, whereas I don't have any pictures or posts of my mother up. She said this hurts her feelings too, and apparently, our extended family and my grandma have commented on it. Am I the a-hole? I've always wished my parents stayed together. This seems like unresolved trauma relating to the divorce versus your mother doing anything wrong. Do you know why they divorced? Was your mother your primary caregiver, or did they split custody 50-50? They divorced because they just wanted different things and wanted to live different lifestyles. My mom is a lot more outgoing. She likes going to concerts, going on vacations, etc. My dad likes to watch TV and hang out at home more. They had split custody. Not the a-hole. You've let her know. She could plan some one-on-one time now, but I bet she won't. I sincerely doubt she will either. She wants to complain, but I don't think she's willing to put in the work to make things better. Were her feelings hurt before your grandma commented on it, or did she only notice it was a problem when someone else said something? She's been complaining for years that I've preferred my father over her. I guess until now I've never really explained in depth why. One day, with no words, each parent gets the scorecard, no grades, just love. Your mom hasn't been able to read the scorecard because she cannot accept the failing grade. Time will tell if her emotional investment was or is worth. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad I never wanted his wife at my appointments, and I tolerated it because I had no choice? My parents got divorced 5 years ago, and my dad got remarried 2 years ago. I, 16 female, think his wife is fine, but it's not like she's my mom or my favorite person, and I don't see us getting any closer over the years, because she can be a bit much at times. I have a medical condition that requires checkups every 6 months, and sometimes I need tests if something's off, and a change in treatment if it's needed. When my dad first got remarried, he insisted his wife should be there as well. Mom didn't want her there, and they fought over it. I told Dad I didn't want her there either, but he claimed I was parroting my mom and that I loved and needed his wife there. He told me it was okay and he'd make sure she was there. And when I went to tell him again, he cut me off and said it was fine and he'd handle it. She's been to every appointment since, and whenever I'm asked if I want to speak to the doctor without my parents there, I ask for it to be just me and Mom. My dad was confused about why, and his wife cried the first time and gets all mopey the other times. Dad has asked me why I wanted just Mom there, but he never let me answer. The other day, my parents were fighting about Dad's wife attending these appointments, and Dad said his wife was important and she deserved to be there. My mom told Dad his wife was nothing and had no business going anywhere near the appointments. Dad told Mom he would take her parenting time away if he could for that attitude, and he was angry the whole way back to his house. I told him I wouldn't let him take me away from Mom, and he said he was mad that she was denying my and his wife's connection and the fact I wanted her there. That's when I snapped and told him I never wanted her there. I told him that back then, and I tolerate her being there. I said she's not important to me. She's not needed, that she's more like a big baby when she cries or mopes after I asked to have the two of them leave the room. And I told him I do that because she's there, and I never wanted her intruding like that. My dad was literally stunned into silence for a day and a half, and when he talked to me, he told me the things I said were cruel and unfair to his wife, who did nothing to me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. You're not the a-hole. Your boundaries are valid, and your dad should have respected them. The dad should have cared more about his child's comfort than his wife's inclusion. Period. If you're putting your partner's feelings above your kid's needs, you've failed the assignment. He is a parent before being a boyfriend to other. Exactly. It's wild how some parents forget that their first job is being a parent, not a partner. Your kid's comfort should never be negotiable like that. Tell your dad to stop acting like a 5-year-old and grow up. This random stranger he chose to marry is not entitled to your medical information, and her, an adult woman, crying about it is baffling. If you are in the US, once you turn 18, make sure your health records are changed to only allow who you authorize to have access, and a HIPAA authorization form. Also get a durable power of attorney and medical power of attorney, and make sure your healthcare providers have a copy of the latter. In some places it's 16 and others it's 14. It doesn't matter if you're the parent. I know this because when we moved from Texas to Kentucky, my daughter had to sign the forms to get her med history transferred herself, and she was still a minor, under 18. Ask your dad to let you accompany his wife to her next gynecologist appointment, and that you would like to be there when she discusses her medical issues with the doctor. This is what they are both expecting from you. Not the a-hole. His wife is not related to you and has no business attending your medical appointments. Your dad is strange trying to force this form of bonding. Is it because his wife is unable to have kids and she wants some form of parenting experience? Better still, tell him you want to assist to his next colonoscopy or urologist/proctologist appointment. You want to be there right besides the doctor during all of the visit. I hate when step-parents barge into their step-children's lives. Not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my business class seat to my wife on our international flight? My wife, 32 female, and I, 34 male, recently took an international trip to visit her family. We travel a lot for work and have built up a lot of frequent flyer miles and airline status. When we booked the tickets, we both got economy seats since that's what fit our budget. 2 weeks before the flight, my wife and I were sent an email from the airline telling us we were eligible for an upgrade using our miles. I informed my wife about this and asked her if it was okay to upgrade our tickets. She said that was fine and to go ahead and upgrade my ticket. Because we have separate accounts with the airline, she would have to upgrade her own ticket and I would have to upgrade mine separately. I offered to log into her account and upgrade her ticket when I upgraded mine, but she said that she would do it on her own. The week leading up to the flight, I had been reminding her to upgrade her ticket, but when the time came to go to the airport, she had not upgraded her ticket. When we got to the airport, I offered to switch tickets with her, but she declined. I went to the business class check-in while she went to the economy one. She seemed too distracted with checking in to be bothered with the ticket situation, but when we boarded the plane and I was heading toward business class, she was confused and asked me why I had not downgraded my ticket in order to sit with her. I explained to her that I was not aware that she wanted me to sit with her, and she turned away and stormed off to her seat. Landed, she was snippy with me and made an effort not to talk with me. The whole trip she made little comments about my ticket and refused to talk about it when I asked to. I sat next to her on the flight back, and she didn't say anything about it and seemed to be less aggravated. Now that we're back, she keeps bringing it up in passive-aggressive ways, saying things like, "Must have been nice to have all that extra room while your wife was cramped in the back." I brought this up with some of my friends. Some think I was in the right, but others say I should have given up my ticket. Am I the a-hole for not giving up my seat? Edit. There was no way I could have upgraded her ticket for her. I don't know her login information, and she kept brushing me off. We've only been married for a year. Not the a-hole. You offered to upgrade it for her. She declined. You reminded her to upgrade before the trip. She declined. You offered to switch tickets with her. She declined. Do you see the pattern here? Also, did she ever once mention the idea of downgrading your ticket, if that is even possible? And even if you had, there would have been no guarantee that you'd sit together, since you checked in at different counters, with different attendants, etc. Your wife is being 100% unreasonable. She brought this on herself, and has nobody to blame but herself. Yeah, sounds like she was making up excuses just to have a way to guilt trip and emotionally manipulate OP later. Super weird behavior. Not the a-hole at all. Good news. Not the a-hole. Bad news? You married an idiot. I hope she has some good qualities, because she is. Chaotic if she doesn't have her tasks organized. Unreliable and adding to your mental load if you can't trust her to do simple tasks and also need to remind her. Can't ask for help while clearly she was overwhelmed, or is she just that careless? Can't communicate in a healthy way about her feelings, or even if she needs space. Is not willing to take responsibility and admit her mistakes. Not the a-hole. Are snippy remarks and silent treatment typical of her behavior or out of character? Could there be another issue? Have you spoken with her since about her behavior? This reeks of social media relationship test to me. Deliberately skip out on doing the upgrade, then see if your partner volunteers to give up their perk to sit next to you.